and freeze, as is the tradition. Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'll tell you what time it is right here. It's beer o'clock. Cheers, everyone. Oh, dear me, I'm looking a little bit brightly lit tonight, aren't I? So let's just sort that out before we go any further. Let's just turn this down a little bit. Oh, that's a bit dark and mysterious, isn't it? I think we'll settle for that. That'll do. It's here once again. It's Friday, and we're into April now, and fourth month of the year. A quarter of the way through, a third of the way through, even. And yes, it's going quickly, isn't it? Anyway, let's go and see who was teacher's pet this week, who was first in. We have Chip Young first in, giving us hello Fattercasters. My Fattercasters t-shirt turned up in the wrong size, so it's had to go back, and everybody else is getting them no problem, and mine took ages to turn up. When it turned up, it was the wrong size. Anyway, hopefully I'll be wearing it for next week. Then we have Rent to Kill, Sometimes Dim Never Thin, Peter Nicholson, PFY Guitars, Johnny Random, Terry Day, Rubbish Guitar Bloke is in, so is Peter Collins, Dave Lewis, Mark Kerno, Cylon Hybrid, Far John is in. What are you saying there, Cylon? Got a giant bee problem stuck behind the net curtains. I've got 2 Akitas, and anyone who has a dog knows they will wreck the place to get at it. A dog thing. Oh, I can attest to that, yes. It could be a fly, it could be a moth, it could be anything. Yes, there will be breakages. Then we've got Rob Bald and David James, Sean House. Dave Fiendish is in, so is Grandpa Joe, as ever. What are you saying there, Joe? A massive surprise to anyone living in the New York, New Jersey metro area. We just had a 4.8 earthquake. The epicenter was 5k northeast of Lebanon, New Jersey. A bit freely. Okay, well that's going to rattle the windows a bit, isn't it? Hope everyone's okay. Hope there was no casualties, and it didn't impinge on anyone too much. And then we have Amadeus, and we have Timbo and Stuart Young. Guitar Me is in, so is John Mack, Relaxing Meditation, Dr. Gomez 1, Vincent Brennan's there, so is Ben Allmark, Anton, Phil B, Malcolm Thompson, Ian Clark, and it stopped raining where Ian is. It's been on and off all day here. Miserable day. The wife's been on the market selling the jewellery that she makes, and she's not had a good day. It's she's at home now, downstairs in her pajamas, and kind of hugging the electric fire. Then we got Maria Davis. Phil is in, so is Theme Tunes. John Ross, Paul Trainer is in. Dave Snack Stevens is there, as is Nathan, Jimmy James, David Evans, Chip Young. I've said you already, haven't I? Met you were first in, weren't you? Then we've got Chris Otterwell and Peter Collins, Calby and the Rocco Cat. Peter S. is in, let's have a look. We've got Frank Bolam. We've got Colin Falcon. Now, how are you doing, mate? Local lad to me. There's Mark Kerno in there as well. Robert Forsyth, the Essex Cat. And scrolling down, let's have a little bit of a look. We've got Neil Roberts, John Channing. We've got James Hunt in Windy Dagenham, as always. There's Robert Forsyth. Let's see who else we've got. We've got Les Roper, Pablo Hank. Rexamatic is in all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. There's 60s Man. Ian Rouse is there. And Paul Coleman, Andy Nisbet, Paul Trainer, sir, you are a gentleman. Thank you very much for that. As our late departed friend Mike CGS would say, never caught it, always appreciated. Thank you so much, my friend. Then we've got William Forrest, Brad Dowell, and Pablo Hank is there, and Rent to Kill. is in. And I'm getting deja vu here. Have I read some of these names out already, or is the chat playing tricks on me? Anyway, a name I haven't read out yet is Mott the Hoople 2010. Finally got off work in time for beer o'clock. Enjoyed your epi piece yesterday. Looking forward to a few tinctures tonight. Yeah, I enjoyed putting that Epiphone piece together. I like doing little bits and pieces like that. And I was surprised by the conclusions I came to in that piece. I've got to tell you, it was like many people, I thought that Epiphone guitars had skyrocketed in price, and it's a little bit more nuanced than that. Was the conclusion I came to. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch yesterday's video. Then we got Maidenman 74, Dudley Squat, Thomas Mulvaney, and we've got Michael Purcell. Steve Cassidy guitar, here he is. Don't forget, Steve Cassidy has got, I believe, an interview with The Lamb going out at 6 p.m. This evening, UK time, straight after this live stream, so go and watch that. Enjoyed watching you live today on Catch Up, mate. You're getting better at those, aren't you? You're even better. You're starting to be able to get your guitar and everything through them, which is more than I can manage to do. But watch this space. I have some ideas on that. Maybe I can do a little bit of a Lammy kind of thing and start playing a bit in the live streams. Who else we got? We've got Bill Mumbo. We've got anyone else I haven't mentioned? There's Peter Shields, Savvy64, Cal Texper is in. Heidi's and Poppy's World is in. And who else we got? We've got George Wall. We're going to be looking at some of your guitars later on, mate. Looking at a few people's guitars. There's Jim Brennan guitar, Russell Gibson, and Isambard Celery. Sargi is in, so is Tony Clifton, Stephen Hedger. The Lamb, thank you once again. You are a gentleman, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for that. And who else have we got? We've got Steelhorse 75 and anyone else I've missed? I think that's pretty much everyone. The J-Caster. I just see there. I'm starting to see new names in the chat each week, which is nice. Everyone's welcome here, and it's nice that the word is getting out about this little Friday community that we've got going on here. And the more the merrier, really. So yes, let me tell you what's coming up on the channel this week. My kind of opinions on Fender offset guitars are well known. If you love your Fender offset, your Jazzmaster, your Jaguar, your Mustang, whatever, then good luck to you. It's just not a guitar design that floats my boat. But is that about to change? We're going to find out on Sunday because I was loaned a beautiful, if you're into such things, Fender Japan Jazzmaster. Beautiful looking thing it was, even for a Jazzmaster, kind of vintage white colour with a pair of blue racing stripes. Gorgeous looking thing, if you're into that sort of thing. I was loaned one of those to have a bit of a play of, and I thought, well, yeah, okay, let's give it a go, see if I can make a connection with it, and you'll find out whether or not I did on Sunday, because that's Sunday's video. Then on Monday, a solo from the legendary Jim Cregan. He who did the famous solo on Steve Harley's Come Up and See Me, which is a solo I did ages ago on this channel. But we're looking at one of his solos that he did when he was with Rod Stewart. We did a Rod Stewart solo relatively recently, but that was, I believe, played by Joe Walsh, the solo from First Cut is the Deepest. So this is another one from that kind of, you could call it Rod's heyday in the mid to late 70s. I think one of his more poignant songs, actually, a fantastic ballad with a guitar solo on it that I'll give you a clue. It starts off as a mandolins, as I think as an acoustic guitar solo, then goes into a mandolin solo, and then there's an electric guitar solo on the end of all of that, and it's that electric guitar solo that I've taken a look at. Anyone give me Any idea about what that? Anyone got any idea about what the song might be? Let me know in the chat. Steve Cassidy saying, almost managed to play guitar. You played the guitar, it was just the backing track that didn't cooperate, wasn't it, mate? Steve Cassidy there. So, yeah, Rod Stewart solo on Monday. Then on Tuesday, top 5 video as is usual. And I thought this week I'd tackle the topic of parts casters. You know, we've all had a go at making a parts caster from some at one time or another, haven't we? You know, buy a neck, buy a body, bolt it all together, solder some pickups in, and boom, you've got your own custom-built guitar. Well, there are lots of parts casters that have become iconic instruments and ended up playing on, well, being the go-to guitar of many an iconic guitar player. I'm going to look at 5 of those on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, a viewer question video, as always. So if you have any viewers' questions, if you're a viewer, which you are because you're watching this, and you have a question about guitar or music, then give us a shout. jrguitartuition@gmail.com or johnrobsonmusic.co.uk. Use the email form there. Get in touch. Tell me what's on your mind. And yeah, somebody got in touch and asked me what my favourite jam track was and why. And, you know, well, I'm going to tell you on Wednesday and have a bit of a play over it and tell you why it's my favourite jam track. Then on Thursday, the wildcard slot where I put all the videos where I can't think to, where else I can't think to put them, basically. There is a chap who is a prolific music broadcaster. He does TV shows about music, and if ever he gets a new series on TV, I'm always there watching it, glued to the TV. A fella called Howard Goodall. If you're not aware of him, then go and check him out. I'm sure you probably are because I mention him often enough. But just basically a little video on Thursday about what I've learned about the history of music from watching his TV shows. You know, it's the sort of thing which might... this video is very much, well, it's interesting to me, so it's probably going to be interesting to other people. But that's not always a hard and fast rule, is it? Let's see if anyone has got the Rod Stewart song. Not Sailing, not Maggie May. Let's have a look. Anyone else? I don't see... I see we've got Randy Upchurchin. Heidi's and Poppy's World. Kids rob my channel. It's Andrew here. Cheers though, John. Nice to see you, Andrew, mate. I'll tell you the Rod Stewart one if nobody's going to get it. It's not Do You Think I'm Sexy? And Graham Reeves. Going Underground is my favourite jam track. Yes. Walked into that one, didn't I? Yeah, my favourite jam song is Town Called Malice, but there you go. No, the Rod Stewart solo will be I Was Only Joking. Michael Purcell saying top 5 programmes about music. I'm probably pretty sure I've already done that, but it'll have been a while ago, so maybe I could resurrect that. Chip Young, what you saying there, mate? Can you do a video on controlling the infamous flying pinky? Not quite. I know what a pinky is. It's what we call the little finger, but it's never had a flying penchant for me. It has to be said. So I don't know. I mean, maybe a video on correct fingerings and stuff. Although that would be a bit tricky for me at the moment because I have a finger that is not cooperating at the moment. John Jones is in from Bangkok. How are you, mate? No, yeah, all of the as I say, all of the Rod Stewart guesses are, I'm afraid, incorrect so far, and I've just said what it is. It's I Was Only Joking. So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to have a swig of beer and talk amongst yourselves, which you always do while I do this. I also want to say a massive thank you to everyone who sent in pictures of guitars. We're going to be looking at a few of your guitars tonight. If I was to show all of the pictures that have been sent this week, then the live stream would be 2.5 hours long and would be just kind of looking at guitars. maybe there's an argument to do that, but that's not what we're going to do. So what I did was I sort of put them all in a hat and pulled them out a random sample. Excuse me. And we're going to take a look at a few of those later. If you want to see your guitar on the live stream, then send some pictures. jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Let me put that in the chat so you can copy and paste it if you need to. Yeah, I've got that right. That's my email in the chat. If you want to send me pictures of your guitars to see them on the live stream, then feel free. It's a new feature that we're doing. I might even give it its own little signature tune, which will probably freeze just the same as the intro music does. But I'll tell you what, let's do that now. Let me just go to the right folder. Here we go. Viewers guitars. We got 22 to have a look at tonight. 22 pictures. And let's just take a quick look at some of the guitars that you chaps are enjoying playing. Yeah, hang on. I need to load up a picture first. Bear with me. This one. That's where we'll start. Right. And yeah, it's not letting me do it for some reason. Let me just right. So let's try that again. Excuse me, technical difficulties. Share screen, and then there we go. We've got that now, and here we go. You should all be seeing my screen now, and this is a beautiful looking Les Paul Standard belonging to Andrew Bryan, and I think there's another picture of it coming next. Oh no, maybe not. So yes, Andrew's beautiful Les Paul Standard, and then we've got Brad Dowell's little collection there, a lovely Tokai Love Rock on the end there, and a beautiful Gibson gold top, and then nice looking strap there. I don't like the CBS headstock, and this is a guitar that means business, isn't it? Single humbucker. You're not going to turn up with that to a country gig, are you? Let's have a look at this. These are Carl Tom's guitars. Carl is, I don't know, is he in the chat tonight? I do apologise, I forget. But what we've got here is, let's have a wee look. That is an Epiphone / Snake Pit guitar and a PRS SE Tremonti. Lovely pair of guitars. Carl used to come to me for lessons years ago, and I'm sure I've seen this Epiphone in the flesh more than once. There's a couple more of his guitars, a Jackson and what's this one here? Zoom in on that headstock. A Schecter, yes. And let's move on. Another Carl Tom guitar. I remember these Vesta guitars. Remember these guitars from the early 90s, where this was always the big giveaway, that you bought a lump of plywood, wasn't it? Where they'd kind of bursted over that forearm contour there. Remember the days when a 200 quid guitar would be made from plywood. There's his acoustics, and moving on, we've got Dr. Gomez 1. Beautiful looking Les Paul there, mate. Lovely looking thing, and you are quite the Les Paul guy by the looks of things, aren't you? Some beautiful instruments there. That custom there looks really properly nice, it has to be said. And the guitar I was talking about last week, I mistook one of the Telecasters that I was showing for this one here, the Light Ash Telecaster. This one belongs to George Wall. Now you can see why this guitar was such a big success and why Fender discontinued it. Look at that beautiful bird's eye maple neck. And you've got Seymour Duncan Alnico Pro 2 Telecaster pickups in there. Beautiful guitar, abalone fretboard inlays. Looks like a custom shop guitar. and cost less than a made in Mexico Telecaster at the time. So Fender were obviously shooting themselves in the foot a little bit with that one, and kind of discontinued it. If you can find one of these guitars going for a reasonable price, then grab it. You will not be disappointed. And there's George's other Telecaster, a Japanese 62 reissue. And what else have we got? There's Ian Clark's guitar that he refers to as the old one, a beautiful Eastman SB59. And Ian also, I believe, is the proud owner of this Gordon Smith GS Deluxe. Those guitars in the background aren't Ian's there. I think this picture was taken in the shop when he bought it. Beautiful looking guitar that. I'm getting gas for another Gordon Smith, it has to be said. Then the picture I tried to show you last week, James Turner's pair of Gibsons, but it was in some weird picture format that wouldn't open in this software. A beautiful SG tribute with a mini kind of Firebird humbuckers. And look at this special here. He tells me that the grain on this mahogany body here really dances in the light. Some really nice figuring on that. Then we've got Mark Kerno's nice little quiver of arrows here. Some beautiful guitars there, and looks like a Les Paul Studio, and we've got is that an American Performer Stratocaster? I believe it is, a Seagull acoustic. This looks very much like a Harley Benton SC550 and an SG up there. What we got down here? We've got a Squier Strat, and this looks, is this not sure what this is. Looks like a PRS. Probably an SE single cut. I do have all the information on these guitars, but it's not to hand at the moment. I should really kind of find a way of having some notes in front of me. Then we have, where we go? Yeah, we have Michael Beliveau's collection of guitars here. This Gibson Les Paul Tribute looks an absolute dead ringer for my Les Paul Tribute. Same colour, same finish. That could be my guitar. And not to give too much away, but there is one of the other guitars that you can see in this picture that Michael has recently taken delivery of, and so have I. But I'm not going to tell you which one it is because, that's a bit of a spoiler alert for an upcoming video. But, we've got a lovely Telly Les Paul tribute there. That's a Squier Strat there, Squier P bass. PRS CE, that's one of the new kind of budget ones, isn't it? And then what we got here, that's a Harley Benton HB35 with a Duesenberg trem. Then we got Michael Beliveau's Squier Strat. And what I love about this is you look at a little mini-me rig on top of the amp there. That's a nice little touch, isn't it? Then a guitar that many, 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 many years ago you saw on this channel, a Harley Benton TE30 belonging to Mr. Michael Dodds. He bought this guitar, and he lives local to me, and he loaned it to me to do a video on. So thank you so much for that, Michael. I remember that guitar well. And then we've got Peter Collins, his 2002 Epiphone Les Paul Standard Elite with, different headstock shape. I don't think I remember that headstock shape on Epiphones before. It's not ringing any bells, but what a gorgeous looking guitar. And then another Peter Collins guitar, the Reverend Jetstream, aptly named because that shape and that colour, it looks like it belongs to a member of the Jetson family, doesn't it? It's got that sort of 1950s, 1960s idea of what futuristic looks like, and it's charming. And I don't normally like offset looking guitars, but that one just looks charming and friendly. You'd have fun playing that guitar. And then Theme Tunes. There's a rather unusual contribution from Theme Tunes. This is his lap steel guitar. What else have we got? And there's, I think this is possibly the final one, Stephen Hedges' collection, which I recognise that one there, Faisley Outlaw Coyote Plus. I guess you're a bit of a Strat chap, aren't you, Stephen? And this guitar here on the chair, is apparently custom made for him by a mate of his. And what else we got? Oh yeah, we've got Stuart Young's Tokai Love Rock. Very, very 70s looking Les Paul, that, isn't it? It's that was quite the sort of the kind of Les Paul look in the 70s. You can sort of picture Ace Frehley playing something like that. And Truman Yule with his Godin signatures. Beautiful looking guitars. And I think that is the final one that I've chosen for tonight. So some beautiful guitars there. Oh, it's a pedal steel guitar, Theme Tunes. I do apologise. I just assumed it was a lap steel. Calby and the Rocco Cap, beautiful stuff. Fattercasters, I can heartily agree. As I say, thank you everyone for sending in all of the pictures of guitars. What I'm trying to do is to give everybody a fair crack of the whip by just kind of randomly choosing from the photos that have been sent in that week, and all of the ones that that I've shown are getting moved to a different folder. So as new ones arrive, they get put into the kind of in tray, if you like. And then each week I'll just choose a random sample from the in tray and we'll have a look at them. And then once we've looked at them, they get moved on. So, if yours wasn't shown this week, don't worry. It's still in the in tray and it will kind of make an appearance at some point. I can guarantee it. Jazz bass, John, says David Evans. Yes, sorry, mate. Yes, I'm... Yeah, I can picture it in my head, and I think, yeah, why didn't I spot that was a jazz bass? Steve Cassidy saying Duesenberg. John Jones is asking, John, do you think Harley Benton Squire have equal kudos value? I don't really know, because that's not the sort of way that I view guitars. I've had quite a bit of flack for suggesting that Harley Benton guitars are professional quality musical instruments and, should be afforded such respect. And then as soon as you say anything like that, the haters all come out. I don't care. I think of it, is it a good guitar? What does it sound like? What does it feel like to play? And what does it look like in that sort of order? And after that, I don't really care, to be honest. I actually do care, because I can't keep saying that and say, well, I bought myself a Gibson because I wanted a Gibson guitar. It's that was just my little kind of, call it a midlife crisis if you want. It was my little trophy to myself for having had a decent year. But by and large, I don't really give much of a damn about, whether it's a guitar that has kind of cool value or street cred or anything like that. I've played some lovely Harley Bentons. The majority of them have been lovely, actually. There's been one or two that you just thought, yeah, this one was a bad one, this one slipped through the net. But equally, I could say the same of Fenders. I played some really, Fenders that cost thick end of £1,000 that you think, come on, Jet, Faisley and Harley Benton can do better fit and finish than this for a fifth of the price. So, that tends to be the way I view things, really. Mr. Chris 5254 is saying, no, but, oh, there's beer, mate. There's beer. Don't you worry about that. I'm just going to polish this one off and pour another one. So everybody get ready to type the word flake. In case anyone's wondering, tonight's live stream is brought to you by Heineken, because they've still got that offer on in Morrison's, and and they actually had some on the shelves this week. Here we go. Is it going to be a flaky one? It's not looking too bad. Let's try and at least get some kind of head on it. Oh no, I think I've overdone it. Yeah, we're in flake territory now, chaps. There we go. Not bad, but not perfect either. Flake, flake, flake. Fancy tin. Yes. Apparently, there's some football, soccer thing happening soon. Not that I give a monkeys about it. It's football to me, or soccer as our American cousins call it. As far as I'm concerned, it's just 22 millionaires ruining a lawn. John Jones is saying, what's your favourite Auf Wiedersehen pet series? It's got to be series 1, hasn't it? The first 2 series in the 80s, the one where they were in Germany, the original series, and then the second series where they were in Spain was good, but it wasn't as good as the first series. And the sort of series, 2 or 3 series that were on in the early 2000s, when they brought it back. Yeah, I want to like those, and I'll watch them, but they're not the original ones, are they? If anyone doesn't know Auf Wiedersehen Pet, anyone from outside the UK, it was a 80s sitcom that was on in the UK, and there's bits of it up on YouTube. Go and check it out if you can understand the accents, because even some people in the UK have a problem with some of the regional accents in that. Vincent Brennan saying, have you played any Danny Gatton solos? I haven't. I'm tempted to say, I know my place. Danny Gatton was Danny Gatton. The piece of music that accompanies all of the unboxing videos, that kind of up-tempo rock and roll boogie thing, was my little attempt to do something a bit Danny Gatton-ish. I'm quite proud of how it turned out. I regard that as me kind of being a little bit cheeky and bluffing my way through that sort of style. That was a tricky piece of music to put together. It has to be said. Oh, I've got one of those, those kind of vacuum bags that you store spare bedding in. Just off topic, randomly. I've got one of those over in that corner of the room, which has got some spare bedding in it, funnily enough. And I've just noticed the seal must have gone because it's starting to inflate. I'll have to send off to Mr. Amazon to get another one. Sean House is saying, have you received your example of the Fatacaster merch yet, John? Yes, as I was saying earlier, it turned up and it was the wrong size. Is this ever going to fit? Is this body ever going to fit into, a medium size T-shirt? I think not. And I didn't want to try it on because there would be ripping noises, and then I couldn't send it back for, an exchange. So yes, it has arrived. It was the wrong size, and there's a triple XL one on its way to me because yes, I'm a fat lad, and that's the kind of size I need. If you weren't aware that I'm a bit of a fat lad, then that may have come as a bit of a shock to you, but it is the case. Steve Hoggett saying, such a sad one, Mr. Gatton. Yes, indeed. Gone too soon by his own hand. But he left, what a legacy of music he left us with, it has to be said. Rob Bald saying, I think it's only Anglo-Saxon countries that improve a word by inserting a swear word. Well, sorry, that's disappeared up the chat. Let's put you up on the screen, Rob. I think it's only Anglo-Saxon countries that improve a word by inserting a swear word into the middle of it. Tree Mendes, indeed. Yes. It's that is a particular thing in round here, isn't it? Anyway, Maria Davies, where have you gone? Where did that go to? There we go. Maria Davies is asking, how's Dougal? Dougal has 2 speeds. He is either a Tasmanian devil or a sloth. Currently, he's in sloth mode. But, it could be something as trivial as a mouse turning over a pebble in a garden 2 streets away, and his ears are pricked up like that, and suddenly he's kind of doing the wall of death around the living room. He is a bit of a hair trigger, but yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's had him out for a nice long walk this afternoon, and unusually he didn't show me up. Normally he's I'm that annoying person with the dog that is out of control and just going mental. But he was absolutely he was like a Crufts puppy today. Ryan Byrne is saying, I made a clon and called it My Lovely Horse. Yes, indeed. My Lovely Horse. If you don't know what that is, search YouTube after the live stream for My Lovely Horse. It's, again, another classic British sitcom that I'm not sure how well it'll travel internationally. It's very much a UK thing, UK and Ireland thing, because it's a UK-made sitcom, but it was set in Ireland. A show called Father Ted. Brilliant, brilliant. I should be watching an episode or two of that later. There's Jeff Crouch. How are you, mate? Nice to see you in. And that again, all the Father Ted jokes are coming out now. Yes, that cow was in the foreground again. Yeah, it would take too long to explain these jokes to you if you've never seen them. If you haven't, just go and look for them on YouTube. You will laugh. I promise you. B Mac is saying, anyone remember the boys from the Black Stuff? Yossa gives a job. I remember that show from the early 80s. Yes, I occasionally, because it's all those shows are all on a service called Britbox that we have on the TV downstairs. And Friday evenings are the only time that I really get to sit and watch any length of TV shows. So I'm usually I'm pretty well dieseled up by the time Jackie has finished watching Coronation Farm or EastEnders Street or whatever, and then I get the remote control and I just dive into Britbox and watch old episodes of Doctor Who with Tom Baker or John Pertwee. Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. Porridge. Now there's a fantastic show. Father Ted and the boys from the Black Stuff. Just a little Friday night nostalgia trip for me, really. Rob Bald, I'm not going to put that up on the screen, mate, but I know the episode you're referring to. Michael Purcell is saying Britbox is still not in Ireland. Get yourself a VPN, mate. Easy enough to do. Just install a VPN, have it across all of your devices, and then just tell Britbox you're in the UK. You can watch it, no problem. Maria Davis, Norman Stanley Fletcher, Porridge. Yes, I can do that entire opening monologue. Shall we try? This will be completely over the heads of anyone watching in the States, but a British TV show called Porridge, which was set in a prison, and it was made for, I think, one series in the US in the 70s, and it was retitled On the Rocks. And the title, the main character Fletcher, I believe in the US was called Fuentes. But anyway, the opening monologue from Porridge in the UK goes something like this. Norman Stanley Fletcher, you pleaded guilty to the charges brought by this court, and it is now my duty to pass sentence. You are an habitual criminal who accepts arrest as an occupational hazard, and presumably accepts imprisonment in the same casual manner. We therefore feel constrained to commit you to the maximum term allowed for these offences. You will go to prison for 5 years. And that was all accompanied by the clanging of cell doors and rattling of locks and stuff, and that was the intro to the show. Fabulous memories. If you've never seen it, you won't know what I'm talking about, and the last 5 minutes will have been a mystery to you. It's one of the joys of getting to this sort of age, which I refer to as the prime of life. kind of mature, like a fine wine, is one of the joys of it. One of the things that you can never understand until you get to this kind of age is nostalgia. The happy memories of days and years gone by, which as I say, Friday evening TV is my little indulgence in that pastime. Let's see if we can get the conversation back to guitars. Michael Purcell is saying it never works with any VPN. I tried more sites, no using a proxy service. Okay, yeah. I was watching a YouTube video the other day, and they were sponsored by a VPN provider, and they were saying that this particular VPN was specifically designed to combat that. And it would be really useful if I could remember the name of the VPN, but I can't. But if it comes to me, I will. I'll make a note of it and tell you what it is on next week's live stream. Lots and lots of comments here about classic British sitcoms, The Young Ones, and Porridge, and many things. And GRB Aquatics, I believe you're in Australia, and you remember Not the 9 o'clock news. Yes, that was a groundbreaking show. No, it wasn't Surfshark, Cal B. It was definitely something like kind of Acme VPN or something like that. It had the name in the word VPN in the. It wasn't NordVPN. Craig Stayman's in. How are you, mate? Hope you're having a beer. BMAC, what you saying there, mate? I use ExpressVPN. It's good enough. Well, fair enough, mate. If that's the one that works. Even a reference there to The Prisoner. I'm not a number. I'm a free man. When I say in all the videos, and don't forget the live stream every Friday at 5 p.m. UK time, we talk about beer. We do talk about beer. We drink beer and talk about guitars and music and many other things. I think we're into the many other things at the moment, aren't we? Yeah, Malcolm Sansom, I remember Love Thy Neighbour. It's often remembered a little bit unfairly, I think, because it was a show that was basically about race relations. And here's the thing: the oafish, bigoted, white racist guy was always the butt of the jokes. And he said some really kind of rather fruity things that you wouldn't get away with today, but he was always the one that was, as I say, was made to look like the imbecile in each episode. And I don't think that it's remembered quite fairly, shall we say? I saw a couple of episodes. I used to do a radio show called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the 70s. And there was and basically the whole shtick of the show was that I was broadcasting live from the 1970s, and I would run through, like a TV guide of what was going to be on that evening, whatever date it was, kind of the 17th of March, 1976 or whatever it was. And here's what's going to be on TV tonight. And I would play little bits of audio from it. And part of that involved me kind of tracking down, YouTube clips of 70s TV shows. And, a lot of the time they have been, I think, remembered rather unfavourably, because even though they said things that were, dialogue that wouldn't be acceptable today was spoken, it was spoken in a way that the person speaking these kind of nasty horrible words that we're not allowed to mention today, was always the one who was portrayed as the idiot, the dullard, the villain. They were always, it was always putting those kind of negative things into the mouth of a character that wasn't sympathetic. So. Oh, and I see we're talking about, don't mention the war, that episode of Fawlty Towers. And Michael Beliveau, I have to agree with you there. McVicker, best soundtrack in a prison movie, maybe. Yes. Yeah, I probably until about 10 years ago. When did we last get rid of our VHS player? It's got to be 10, 12 years ago. And I still had McVicker on VHS, and a great movie. Roger Daltrey playing, kind of legendary bank robber John McVicker. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth seeing. Probably everyone's seen it, but if it's passed you by, some great music, a great narrative. It's a Hollywood movie, so it's not a true story. It's based on a true story. And Adam Faith playing Roger Daltrey's mate. That was a great one. James Hunt is saying McVicker soundtrack never gets mentioned, not even by The Who. I know, which is bizarre. David Evans saying, did you see my earlier message about Gibson? I didn't, mate. I was probably blethering. Let me kind of scroll up and see what you were talking about, mate. Where are we? Let's have a wee look. Here we go. I think Gibson's quality control is up the spout again. I saw a vid where a guy had to return his brand new gold top 3 times for quality issues. Must be bad again. It wouldn't surprise me. It genuinely wouldn't. All I would say is that when I bought this guitar, I knew I was buying a Gibson. And I knew that the fit and finish on it was probably going to be somewhat less than you would expect from Harley Benton. And there's shall we call it lip gate? God, I've gone really dark there, haven't I? Let's throw some more light on the situation. There we go. Lip gate, where there's a little lip between the neck and the fingerboard. It doesn't affect playability. It doesn't affect the structural integrity of the guitar. It's a cosmetic thing. You can feel it if you're looking for it, but just in general kind of playing position, you don't notice it. But I knew I was buying a Gibson. And when you buy a Gibson, you accept that there are going to be things like that, and you kind of price that in. I certainly did. So it depends how how picky the guy who bought the gold top was being. There we go. Lighting about right again. It depends how picky he was being, and there is an argument to say that if you're paying a 4-figure sum for a guitar, then you have every right to expect it to be perfect in every way. But then, if you're paying a 4-figure sum for a guitar and you want it perfect in every way, buy a PRS. It's a Gibson. It's going to have some of those issues, and if you're not comfortable with that, then don't buy a Gibson. Is the way I see it. It's like there are certain brands of automobile that are apparently, I don't drive, so I don't know, but there are certain brands of automobile which are absolutely, divine to drive down a windy road. But if you leave them anywhere near a puddle, they will immediately oxidize, and so. But you know the reputation for that particular brand, and you go into it with your eyes open. That's all I can say. But it's Ian Clark saying, "Or buy an Eastman." Yes, well, there is that one as well, isn't there? Uh, uh, John Jones is saying, let's make a white shaved head over 50s oppressed group. Well, I don't think I'd be allowed to join because I don't feel particularly oppressed, mate. I live a charmed life. I sit here for, well, in some cases, 12 hours a day, blethering away into a webcam, playing guitar, talking about guitar, having conversations with other guitarists, which is what my lessons usually are. It's just, it's basically a conversation between me and another guitarist. I just think of it, I'm just sharing tips that I happen to know. And sometimes I kind of learn stuff as well. And, there I go and I make a decent living at it. So is that me being oppressed? I don't think so. So I don't know about that, mate. Let's have a look. Craig Stamen, Ferrari owned by Fiat, also known as Fix It Again Tomorrow. Yeah, I was once told that Ford stands for found on roadside dead. I remember my parents when I was a kid. They were they had a Hillman. They were big fans of Hillman cars and Chrysler, and long since gone. But they bought a Ford once, and we had it about a week and took it back to the dealership. And no, not happy with this. Rob Ball saying, sorry about that, mate. Rob, there we go. The chat keeps moving as I'm clicking. Lotus, lots of trouble, usually serious. Yes, well, a drummer I was in a band with many, many years ago was a mechanic for a big chain of garages up here called Dutton Forshaw. And he used to dread whenever they'd get any British-made car coming in, Jaguar, anything from Ford's Dagenham plant or anything like that, because it was basically going to be just like a never-ending sea of problems. Let's have a look. Rob Ball saying, where's Anton? I don't know. Has he disappeared? Did I read his name out earlier? I can't remember. Timbo, I heard Ford was effed on rainy days. Dr. Gomez, the cat has sneezed up my arm. I'm covered in snot. Yeah, Dougal gave me a couple of weeks ago. He was like here, like right in my face, probably asking for a dentist stick or a pig's ear or something. And he just got like one of the most violent sneezes out of nowhere and just covered me glasses. They have no sense of propriety, do they, pets? Let's talk amongst yourselves while I pour the beer. Get ready to type flake once again. Can I manage another beer in 6 minutes? We'll give it a good old college try. Yes, it's flown by tonight, I have to say. I've gone dark again. There, how's that? It is the thing. It's like the lighting in here is very much dependent on my proximity to the camera. Steve Cassidy guitar, down it. I will if you will, mate. I was watching your live yesterday, that you did yesterday. I was watching it today, and you're apparently not on the beer. You're letting the side down, mate. It has to be said. Yes, I'm not going to kind of do the boat race with it. Ian Clark, my dog burps in close proximity after eating poo, foul creature. That is something that Dougal doesn't currently have a penchant for. He'll eat everything else, the wife's slippers, Any random bit of wood that he sees will be turned into wood chip or sawdust in short order. What else does he like to eat? Sweetie wrappers that some little out yobbo kiddie has discarded. And this whole situation with me hand was basically the result of me trying to get a piece of broken glass out of his mouth. And in the ensuing kerfuffle, the hand got caught in the lead, and and the rest is, as they say, history. But to his credit, he doesn't eat poo. Our last dog, Taylor, the border collie, he did have a thing for that as well. And I used to say to him, Taylor, the clue is it tastes like shit, and looking up at me with a big brown grin on his face. Yeah, nasty. Jimmy James solution: get a cat. Yeah, you're either a dog person or a cat person. I've got to tell you, I'm a dog person. Let's have a look. See what else I've been missing. Oh, yeah, people encouraging me to down the down the beer. I'll down the rest of it in one. I can promise you that. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. Eric Luttinger is saying neither dog nor cat. Fair enough, mate. Some people just are not pet people. But, I grew up on a farm. Well, I didn't grow up on a farm. I lived on a farm until I was about 6 years old. My dad was a farmer, and then he retired. So there were kind of dogs and, animals around all the time there. And then we always had a dog when I was a kid. And you just get used to having a dog in the house. And for me, it's, I just like having a dog, basically. It's not a pet, it's a member of the family. GRB Aquatics, I'm a fish person, but I do like dogs and cats. Dogs are loyal, cats plan your demise, says Maiden Man 74. That's a riff on the idea that dogs have owners and cats have staff. Mate of mine who's probably watching this now, his next door neighbours used to have a cat called Fat Oscar that, just used to invite himself in and, just stop what you're doing and give me some fuss. Michael Beliveau saying, how about our cats and dogs pictures? It's a thought, isn't it? There's a couple more videos coming up where I'm doing blind tests. Can you tell the difference between this guitar and that guitar? Let's have a look at some pictures of Dougal as we go. A couple more videos of that nature coming up, so you'll be seeing more of the four-legged member of this household in upcoming videos. Rob Bald, I've just said that, mate. Dogs have owners, cats have staff. Indeed. Right, where are we? 59 minutes and 15 seconds. Here we go. I'm a magician. I can make beer disappear. Anyway, that's it for tonight, folks. Thank you once again, everyone, for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad who has no clue what he's talking about most of the time talk absolute nonsense for an hour. I'm going to go and eat a curry now, and I'll see you all on the next one. But thank you once again for turning up, and until next time, gentlemen, please.